I want to tell you something I believe deeply, something that gets lost in almost every future of work conversation I have ever heard. AI does not make humans less valuable. AI makes the wrong humans, people doing the wrong work, less valuable, and it makes the right humans, people doing the right work, dramatically more valuable. The question is not whether AI is coming, it's already here. The question is, are you designing your organization to be one where your people are doing the right work? Welcome back to What Comes Next. I am Arunansu Pattanayak, and I am genuinely glad you are here for this one because this is the conversation I care about most. We have talked about why AI strategies fail at the foundation. We have talked about turning your data into a product. Today, we zoom out to the biggest question of all. What does AI mean for the people inside your organization? And what should you, as a leader, do about it right now? Let me start with what's wrong with most future of work conversations. The fear narrative says AI takes jobs, slow it down, protect workers, manage the disruption. The hype narrative says AI makes everyone productive. Just get people using the tools and the benefits will flow naturally. Both narratives are telling half the truth. And half the truth, in my experience, leads to whole mistakes. The fear narrative isn't wrong that displacements happen. When AI processes a loan application in seconds that used to take a team of analysts 3 days, that changes what the team does. The hype narrative isn't wrong that AI creates new value. It does. The real questions are who captures that value and what happens to the humans no longer needed for the work they used to do. The leaders I respect most hold both truths at once and build organizations that manage both realities simultaneously. So, if both narratives fail, let's get precise. What does AI actually replace? Here is the most precise way I can put it. AI replaces tasks, not roles. The repetitive, pattern-based, rules-driven components of a job, it does not replace judgment, relationship, creativity, contextual wisdom, at least not yet, and not in the ways that matter most in enterprise leadership. In financial services, where I have spent a significant portion of my career, I have watched AI automate fraud detection, loan processing, regulatory reporting, support triage, investment research summaries. Every one of those was a task performed by skilled humans, and in every case, those humans were freed or displaced depending entirely on how the organization handled it. The organizations that treat automation as a capability multiplier came out with genuine competitive advantage. Their people got faster, smarter, more strategic. The ones that treated it as a headcount tool got short-term cost savings and long-term capability gap. The difference was never the AI, it was the leadership philosophy. Now, philosophy can sound abstract. So, let me give you the model I actually use. I call it the three-layer workforce model. Layer 1, the automation layer. Every task that's repetitive, rule-based, and data-intensive, where AI consistently outperforms humans on speed, accuracy, and cost, automate these as completely as possible, not to eliminate people, but to free them. Every hour a talented analyst spends on a task an AI agent can do is an hour not spent on work that actually requires a human mind. Layer 2, the augmentation layer. Tasks where AI makes humans dramatically better, but where judgment, context, and accountability remain essential. Picture a financial advisor using AI to process 10,000 data points, but a client's portfolio in real time, but still makes the relationship decision. Okay? The strategic recommendation, the judgment call about what the client actually needs versus what the data says they want. Human stays at the center, AI is the amplifier. Layer 3, the innovation layer, the work only humans can do, and that becomes more valuable as AI absorbs layers 1 and 2. Strategy, culture, creativity, ethics, leadership. When your automation layer runs on agents and your augmentation layer is fully instrumented, the only differentiation left is human. The organizations deliberately building human capability, not just automating human tasks, are the ones that will win. And that brings me to the most counterintuitive idea in this whole episode. As AI gets better at processing information, the value of human judgment doesn't go down, it goes up. Here is why. AI can tell you what happened, what's happening, and with high probability, what happens next. What it cannot do, not reliably, not in the ways that matter, is tell you what should happen. That's a values question, a strategy question, a human question. As the world fills with AI generated analysis, the scarcest resource in any organization won't be data. It will be the human capacity to exercise wise judgment about what to do with it. This is what I mean when I say the future of work is an architecture problem, not a threat to be managed. Design your AI systems to amplify judgment, and you build something that compounds a workforce that gets smarter and more valuable as the AI layer underneath it gets more powerful. So, what does this look like in practice? Let me show you what the leaders are doing right now that everyone else isn't. Okay. One, investing in AI literacy at every level. Strategic literacy, not just technical training. Every leader should understand enough to have an informed opinion about where AI should and should not be used. Two, redesigning workflows before deploying AI, not bolting AI onto existing processes. Rethinking the process around what AI can do and what humans should do. Hard, slow, and worth every minute. Sorry. 3. Explicit governance for AI decision making. Who is accountable when an agent makes a wrong call? What decisions should never be fully automated? These aren't hypotheticals. They are live, board level discussions in regulated industries right now. 4. Building what one Harvard Business School faculty member called change fitness, the organizational muscle to adapt continuously. AI capability isn't a destination, it's a moving target. You build the capacity to keep up with it. 5. Protecting and investing the layer 3 humans, the innovators, strategic thinkers, relationship builders, culture carriers, not because it's nice, because in 5 years, they will be the only genuinely scarce resource in enterprise organizations. And scarcity in business is the foundation of value. Future of work is not something happening to you, it's something you get to design, but only if you make the architectural decisions now. Which work gets automated, which work gets elevated, and which humans get developed into the leaders an AI-enabled organization actually needs. Harvard Business School faculty wrote recently that the leadership imperative for 2026 is clear. Make change fitness a core capability, not an afterthought. I couldn't agree more. The leaders who build that capability will look back at this period and say, that is when we built our real advantage. Next episode, I am going to dive deep into the layers of intelligence architecture that I talked about in the first episode. I can't wait to tell you more about the framework and architecture I use to help organizations become AI-enabled and gain competitive advantage in the process. Until then, I am Arun, and this is What Comes Next. And what comes next is always a choice.